First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Freeze warnings are in effect tonight, including a hard freeze warning for part of the WUFT viewing area. That's our top story tonight. I'm Deanne Lesnever.
And I'm Adriana Idiza. We'll have more on precautions for pipes and plants in a moment. First, we turn to UF forecaster Peter Gay Shearwood for the latest on the warnings.
Well, ladies, it is going to be a cold night across north central Florida. Temperatures are going to drop as soon as the sun sets tonight. By 6 o'clock, we're looking at 52 degrees. By midnight, 35. And just before 2 o'clock at 30 degrees. It is going to feel like 22 degrees across north central Florida. Now, a hard freeze warning is in effect for areas like Alachua County and anything north of that, and a freeze warning for Levy County, Marion County, and even Putnam County for tonight. It is a cold one, and even a wind chill advisory is in effect for north central Florida, and that should all last until 9 o'clock in the morning. Our lows will drop down to 27 degrees in Gainesville, 23 in Stark, and 25 degrees over in Hawthorne. And when you factor in the winds coming straight out of the north at 10 miles per hour, it is going to feel cold across north central Florida. And even with an abundance of sunshine, we're going to reach 48 degrees in Gainesville. Coming up on my main weather forecast, I'll let you know just how long this cold temperatures are going to stick around. Back to you.
Thank you, Peter Gay. Now here's James Torres with a look at what can be done to protect household pipes from rupturing with the force of water freezing and expanding inside them.
North Florida nurseries are always preparing for ways to prevent their plants from freezing to death.
If it's going to happen, it would be tonight or tomorrow night that would get cold enough. Usually it doesn't get cold enough to freeze the ground here.
But with a freeze warning these next few nights, it may be cold enough. The Greenhouse Nursery in Newberry does have some tactics to keep its plants safe, like placing this insulated sheet over the plants to prevent frost from touching the roots. But Justin Green's concerned the water pipes don't stand a chance against a hard freeze.
There's always the chance of, there's not a whole lot that we can do, for that because there's just so many here. But in a residential type setting, it would definitely be encouraged to try to insulate your pipes.
Bursting pipes is a risk for homeowners too. I spoke to Bob Faulkner, a plumber for 30 years, who saw just how much damage cold weather could do back in 1980 when Florida had one of its worst cold snaps.
All day, every day, fixing broken pipes. There was pipes frozen inside of houses, in the roofs of churches, in the walls of houses, outside, inside. Like I said, it was the worst I'd ever seen.
He suggests using Questor PVC pipes to help prepare, believing these are the most durable against the cold. This warehouse is full of many tools that residents can use to prevent their pipes from bursting. Local businesses are switching to technology. Apps like this one, Arcus Weather, allows you to determine when a freeze warning is coming right where you are. Apps also help the Greenhouse Nursery monitor freezes, but both Faulkner and Green say if the temperatures are cold enough, there is no guarantee you can avoid damage. James Torres, WUFT News.
Apart from advanced work like installing heating tape or extra insulation around pipes, another method is to let faucets trickle a tiny bit to keep water flowing. Sleeping on the streets is a harsh reality for the homeless, and freezing temperatures means a fight to stay warm to sleep through the night. The St. Francis House is a shelter that provides temporary basic necessities for the homeless. But on the cold weather nights like tonight, there simply is not enough room for everyone. So some men and women may stay on the streets dealing with the cold the best they can.
I got blankets. I got a quilt that just keeps me warm. I just stay warm. I just really don't. You can get up in the morning, it's cold.
Blankets and quilts may not seem like much relief from the falling temperatures, but they are the only source of shelter for some homeless residents.
Officers from the Gainesville Police Department spent their day planting a garden for the clients of Grace Marketplace. The hope is that this will give the homeless something to do in their downtime while also allowing them to grow their own foods.
The chief came up with a program at the police department for officers to go out and help people in the public, and the homeless population is a part of our public and they're a part of our community, and I've got the resources, I've got the knowledge, so I figured let's come out here and let's do something.
Officers plan to visit the garden each month to make sure it's being maintained. Volunteers will also be put in place to help check out tools to Grace clients.
One shrimp boat worker drowned and another was rescued after their boat sank off Pasco County. Another shrimp boat joined authorities in responding to the distress call. After searching day and night, rescues pulled 17-year-old William Coffey out of the water. It turned out a cousin of the missing man was among the searchers.
There was a distress call come over the radio about a boat sinking, so right off the rip, me and my brother, we went in, we called the Coast Guard.
Unfortunately, William and Matthew's cousin, 29-year-old Anthony Coffey, did not survive. His body was found 8 miles off the coast.
An appeals court says Florida law banning people from openly carrying firearms does not violate the U.S. or Florida constitutions. The case involves a Fort Pierce man who had recently obtained his concealed carry permit but was wearing his gun openly in a holster in his hip. A concerned citizen spotted him and called police. The ruling says Florida's ban on open carry does not violate the U.S. Constitution's right to bear arms, and the Florida Constitution explicitly states the manner in which guns are borne can be regulated. A new study from George Mason University shows that components of alligator blood can be used to kill some kinds of bacteria. WUFT's Isis Ash has more on how this research could lead to a medical tool for the military.
Some people say being a Florida gator is in their blood. A new study shows the blood plasma of these reptiles can be used as medicine. One of the study's researchers is from the University of Florida. He's been working with gators for more than 35 years.
We know that our known antibiotics that we've been using to fight infections are now there's a large number of organisms that have become increasingly resistant to them.
This little guy might save your life. The alligator's blood's being used to treat diseases that are actually resistant to known antibiotics. The U.S. Department of Defense is funding this project. The blood's most important application may be in military first aid.
So if they do come out with this alligator blood that can help fight that, I think we'll have less soldiers on the battlefield die of infections. I mean, if you do the research, you look at Vietnam, and a lot of soldiers died not from the wound itself, but from infections.
This research is still very new. The packaging for medical and military use hasn't been worked out yet. In the future, the research will continue to expand to test the blood of other animals in the crocodilian family. Isis Ash, WUFT News.
Next up for the research team is the blood of the largest lizard in the world, the Komodo dragon. Amendment 1 is still top of mind for Florida environmentalists. The work to get it passed last fall, now they want to make sure state lawmakers follow through with the next budget. Danielle Prinz is just back from a rally today in Tallahassee and joins us now from our newsroom.
Busloads of people traveled to Tallahassee today to speak out about Amendment 1. They have a variety of priorities, but say the bottom line is Florida needs to spend more on conservation. Lawmakers at Florida's Capitol work each year to fix complex issues, but today they were not the only ones. Nearly 200 people visited today to push for solutions to problems with the environment.
And we need to save it. We need to help the Everglades by buying the land and moving the water south.
Amendment 1, which passed in November, requires 33% of state taxes collected from documents to go towards land and water conservation. Many Floridians are passionate about the state following through on the investment.
Retired biology teacher. So yes, and I'm a kayaker.
Their hopes are that the money set aside, which sums up to nearly $800 million by the end of 2016, will go directly towards conserving land and bettering the environment. But many fear a loose definition will let the money flow elsewhere.
Because it's very easy to take a chunk of money and spend it on anything that even has the word water in it.
Kayakers, church groups, and elementary children all have different ideas on where the money should be spent. People are gathered here today for one reason, a better environment, but it is up to the legislators to decide exactly how Amendment 1 money is going to be spent. Senator Alan Hayes is not a fan of the state simply buying up more land, taking it off the tax rolls.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet where it's going to go.
Many different projects could qualify for Amendment 1 funding: springs, aquifers, rivers, and
support our tourism economy, because we need water for all those tourists.
But it may take years of budget battles in Tallahassee to judge how well Amendment 1 pays off for the environment. Danielle Prinz, WUFT News. Florida Tax Watch warned everyone that the Amendment 1 formula was not a sure bet for greater overall investment in conservation. More was spent than would have been required in 5 of the past 11 years, and lawmakers may now be unlikely to add anything above the mandatory earmark. Danielle Prinz, WUFT News.
Thank you, Danielle. Coming up next, critics say it's impossible or a death sentence, but that hasn't stopped the demand. 200,000 people have volunteered to colonize Mars. We'll tell you about the effort.
And a new generation of kids means a more high-tech generation of toys. Find out what Mattel is doing to keep up with the times. Stay with us.